which was that at the end of Survivor Series 2023, the impossible happened. The biggest never say never moment easily in WWE history occurred, because as the main event came to a close, as the logo popped up on the screen, Cult of Personality hits, and after 10 long years, CM Punk walked down a WWE aisle and has officially returned to WWE. Just to kind of continue on the stats thing before we get into it, it was reported that CM Punk's return was the most successful social media post in WWE history, highest view count of any WWE video, and he broke the record in under 60 hours. So that includes Logan Paul, that includes Bad Bunny, includes a whole different slew of other things. And that also means that CM Punk is now responsible for the most successful social media post in WWE and the most successful social media post in AEW. So without further ado, Punk is in WWE. How do we feel about this?
I'm just imagining Tony Khan somewhere just locked away at a crack house with a mountain of coke. Shaking, nervous, having panic attacks. Like he is shitting bricks now. Just because you lost two of your biggest stars. You lost Jade, and they haven't done nothing with Jade yet, and that's another trigger they're waiting to pull. But
Mm-hmm.
you just also got Punk. Punk is who established your brand. Like your brand wasn't shit. People was clowning on it and saying that it was like an indie show, a glorified indie show. Then Punk came in, people started paying attention. You might have stole a few WWE people away, and now it's just like you lost that person. And don't get me wrong, they got some great people over there in AEW, but you needed that star power. Y'all brought Edge over, and the ratings actually dropped. And this is coming from an Edge stand. I love me some Edge. Ain't shit happened with the ratings. None of the rate. Yo, why are you leaning towards the camera, Banks? Back up.
Because you
Back
know what I
up.
want to say. That's why.
What? What?
You know how I feel about your man.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that later, but let me finish my point. All right, let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
All right, because y'all, you couldn't do it with Edge. You thought you was doing something with him, and unfortunately, with what he performed in WWE prior to going to AEW, it almost depreciated him. Like it almost just lowered his value going over there, and it's just like it's not doing nothing for you. It's showing in the ratings, it's showing in the seats, it's showing in the tickets. They're not down and out, but they doing bad right now. So honestly, I'm not a Punk fan, but business is business. I'm pretty sure Triple H is saying "fuck this guy" and all that, whatever. You know, they exchanging words or whatever. But at the end of the day, business is business. And I'm pretty sure Punk was used to coming from somewhere with structure. WWE got that structure, but he also knows that he went somewhere else and proved that he's a draw. That's what matters the most: putting asses in seats. So I don't like him, but it's not a bad move to take Punk, or for Punk to take the job and come crawling back to a job that, yes, fired him on his wedding day. I understand it, but again, like if he still wants to be relevant in the wrestling business, which he is, this is a power move that helps both him and WWE. So, I still feel the way I feel about him. I still think he's a bitch. I still don't think that he changed. I'm sorry that I'm swearing, but
You
I
good?
feel the way that I feel. I really believe the reason why he stayed away from him on the press conference was definitely because there is probably tension. There probably is exchange of words. He probably already knows that Punk likes to run his mouth, and he's like, yo, you're not about to pull another media scrum on my watch, on my territory. All right, they let you do
Mm-hmm.
that clownery, that buffoonery over there. All right, like we're not doing that here. We're not. That being said, am I happy that he's back? I'm happy for what it does for the company. I'm not happy for him personally. It's fuck him every day over here. But I'm interested to see what they do now, because there's a lot of feuds you could do with Punk. Especially we got Randy back, and again we got Jade. They're in trouble, is all I gotta say. But I'm interested, and I feel like WrestleMania is going to be juicy. But I'm gonna pass it
Mm-hmm.
over to Banks. What do you think about it?
CM Punk is the greatest white hope since Eminem. You got CM Punk who made
Why?
millions. Go ahead. You already know I'm gonna put over my guy. Eminem, go ahead.
Why? I like Eminem. Why do you have to do this to me?
Because they the great white hope. Larry Bird, Tony Hawk, Eminem, CM Punk in that order.
I don't want him in the same category. You could try somebody else. Pick somebody else.
Listen, no, look, but you gotta think about this. This man just got cashed out for basically going AWOL in the company. They said he probably made $7, $9 million from AEW.
Hmm.
I feel like this has been a
That's
plot for
nuts.
years. I feel like this has been a build up for years. He made $7, $9 million. He talking about his arm hurt. He left. He talking about the Bucks of youth is, corny, etc. The fact that he got cashed out for throwing a tantrum when it probably wasn't even that serious. There's probably some serious stuff, but not as serious as we think it is. The fact that he got cashed out and then went to the E and he probably making probably 2, 3 mil somewhere around that. They ain't got him on the best minimum, but he getting somewhere around that. He ain't getting Roman Reigns money, not pocket counting, but he getting something around that. To go from that to make this, that's the American dream. That ain't just the white dream. That's the American dream. Like I don't mess with my employer, but I'm gonna get cashed out somehow. Then to go over here with my best employer and say I'm home, bro. That sounds like a win to me. You about to go over here. You about to cook. Like Mo was talking about WrestleMania about to be fired. Obviously, they probably gonna have that match against Seth Rollins, but now it's rumored that he might have a match with Stone Cold. Even if that's the case with the old man Stone Cold, that's still about to draw. It's like they can't lose right now. They can't lose right now. Like, bruh, again, um, I think Brian Hebner, Earl Hebner's son said, "You don't go against the devil, being Vince McMahon." And that's the problem with all these companies for decades. Y'all keep trying to go against Vince. He ain't there right now, but you keep trying to go against him. This dude played Monopoly, all right? And
Hmm.
he taking everything, bruh. Ain't no reverse, nothing. He taking everything. That's just how he plays. So, hey man, listen. Like I told people, the moment that happened, if you ain't get your Mania tickets, you asked out. I'm straight. I'm gonna be there day two, but I gotta figure out day one. I'm good. So yeah, y'all better figure it out. I'm gonna be at Rumble too. So hey, y'all better figure it out real quick. Y'all better what's his name? Karna Pay or whatever. That
Klarna?
installment payment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, her too. Yeah, you better do them installments. You better
Not
figure it out.
Klarna.
You
No.
better pay fast. You can't spend that 300. Not to boast and brag. Hey, I understand we in the Great Depression, but you better figure it out.
Hmm.
Work OT right now. It's the holiday season.
That's a fact. This is good money making season.
Yeah, I'm at work right now
I
as we speak.
I normally don't say that I'm gonna cook, but I've been waiting since the end of Survivor Series for this particular moment. So I'm gonna cook. When we talk about CM Punk in AEW, I like to compare it to Kevin Durant on the Brooklyn Nets. You have this guy who is known, who is established, who has already gotten his rings, who goes to an organization that may not be as established or as known or as rooted in the business as they would like to be. But yet, Punk, like KD, kind of reaped all of the benefits from being the guy who was a established draw in an organization that may have not been as prominent as its competitors, right? And so we look at what we look at what CM Punk was able to accomplish in AEW. He came in automatic draw. United Center was able to sell it out off of a rumor, right? Then he goes on, has a once in a lifetime segment with MJF, has a great feud with him, right? Now he ends up getting injured. Obviously, the situation with him and the Elite happened, brawl out, suspension the first time. He comes back, he wins, he brings with the real world championship. He does essentially has collision built around him. Then next thing you know, him and Jack Perry get into it, and then he's fired from there. And the minute that he's fired, it's automatic speculation, automatic rumors that him and WWE are in talks for him to sign there, for him to be there. Mind you, during the first suspension, Punk, and I kind of agree with Banks that this was always the plot, because after suspension number 1, where was he? He was backstage at Impact. He was backstage at WWE making amends, right? And now that he signed with WWE, one of the first rumors that came out was that Impact Wrestling offered him a cash offer, right? Offered him a big money offer, at least in the context of Impact. I don't know how much money that is. In the context of Impact, they offered him a big money contract. Now he goes to WWE. And one of the things that I was paying attention to, in addition to his return on Chicago, we knew that it was going to be electric if he showed up there. That's home for CM Punk. That's the Knicks in the Garden. That's the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. That, like, Punk in Chicago is undefeated, point blank, period. But I listened and I watched his promo the night afterwards. And everybody was expecting him to bury AEW. Everybody was expecting him to fire off a shot. He didn't mention one word. Not one word. And that was the best thing he could have ever done, because a promo against him would have been promotion for them. He didn't mention the Young Bucks once. He didn't mention the Elite ones, Hangman once. Now, it's safe to assume that they probably all signed non-disclosure agreements, agreeing that they wouldn't talk about it. But honestly, if I was Tony Khan, I would want Punk to say something about me. Because if Punk were to say something about me, that means that everybody's getting ready for Wednesday to see who's going to say what about Punk. And he didn't. He kept it about WWE. He said, I'm home. He said, I listened to the wise man, clearly a Paul Heyman reference, and not everybody's happy to see me, clearly a Seth Rollins reference. So he planted 2 seeds for 2 potential feuds, and he got up out of there in 5 minutes plus. And now, in addition to that, in addition to the fact that he has the most successful social media post in WWE, the most successful social media post in AEW, his shirt just dropped on Saturday night. It's a top seller in WWEshop.com. But if you go to Pro Wrestling Tees, he's a top merch seller for AEW. Who you know gets fired and is still the biggest draw of their other company? What are we talking about here? What are we
White
actually
American dream,
doing?
brother.
And then everybody wants to say, shout out to Jack Perry, shout out to the Elite. For what? Giving Hunter more money? Giving Vince McMahon more money? Giving WWE more money? Oh, but the vibes backstage are good. If vibes were about money, then the Brooklyn Nets would be NBA champions. Then the most adorable sports team you know would be winning. Vibes ain't money. Money is money. And you just gave your top draw to your competition. You're bugging out. What are you doing? And now Tony is focusing on the Continental Classic, which is cute and all, but all the people that was leaking all the information, Young Bucks is chilling with their family right now. Hangman, we don't know where he at. He's somewhere being a cowboy John Moxley with this all black when he's beefing with Swerve. Like you just gave away money is what happened. And I get it, like not everybody is a fan of Punk. And like you're entitled to that. But anytime you give the competition money, the last time a WWE competitor fumbled this badly, it was when Tony Schiavone went on Monday Nitro and told WCW fans that Mick Foley was about to win the WWE title. And right when they thought they had one up, you know what happened? Everybody switched over to Raw. Banks, what was you about to say? Go ahead.
No, I mean I'm agreeing with you.
Bet.
Go ahead,
I,
Pastor.
I thought you I thought you was about to say something. But yeah, like I get it, right? You want to have a good locker room. Was Punk the most palatable person? Probably not, right? He was controversial, but like Mo said, I don't want to say that CM Punk is AEW. CM Punk is the godfather of the revolution that built AEW. In 2011, when Bro had that pipe bomb and he was talking about Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling and how Vince McMahon shouldn't be having creative control, he was laying the foundation of the ideologies that would fuel fuel the revolution of a Bullet Club getting popular, which will lead to the Elite getting popular, which will lead to All In, which will lead to All Elite Wrestling. Everything that we love and we praise about AEW, Punk was laying the foundations of that in a promo that's at this point damn near 13 years old, and you give him up to WWE and you think you won. All right. All right.
Hey man, I will say this: pride is a you know what, ain't it? Pride to make you do some stupid stuff. Your ego will make you do stupid stuff. With Khan, I try to be a little soft on him, pause, because a lot of people like to gang up on dude, pause again. I think he's just, a product of fandom, being a marker, as people call it. And I think the problem is with him is he's too invested emotionally into the business when he doesn't understand it's just a business. And that's fine to be a fan of any business that you're in because you got to have any type of passion, excuse me. But he doesn't know how to separate the two.
Mm.
And again, I feel bad for him. I do feel bad for him. Like the dude, I keep forgetting he's older than me, but I feel like he's like a kid. No disrespect to him because you're a grown man, but he's just mindset of a kid. So I feel bad for him. But he gotta understand who he going against, brother. And MJF ain't going nowhere. He might give MJF 5 to 10 mil.
I agree. I agree with that. I just think that this was, and it was interesting. I mean, this is probably going to segue into the next topic, but it was interesting, kind of like how the world received CM Punk versus what I think Tony Khan expected. Because I think Tony Khan thought, oh, people in AEW said that the vibes were bad, that he's in the locker room. So clearly, if he were to go to WWE, it wouldn't be a warm reception, right? Banks, you can pay, you can attest to this. Mo, you can attest to this. For years, people would complain about Vince McMahon until cats got blue in the face. But if WWE was in your city and No Chance in Hell hit, you're singing that theme song bar for bar.
Oh yeah.
Bar
Yup.
for
Yup.
bar. So you need to understand, wrestling fans, AEW fans, WWE fans, Tony Khan, to anybody who's watching this podcast, maybe you are, maybe you're not. Let me tell you something. It's a different song when the music hits, bro. I don't care where you stand on CM Punk. When you have a man in your company that makes grown men cry, the tune will change when the music hits. Like, there was cats at Survivor Series that were saying that CM Punk chants were happening, and then people would boo. And then those same people that would boo pop when Cult of Personality hits.
He came back to home base.
Everybody,
You're not gonna boo somebody that came back to home base. Look at what happened with Cody.
absolutely. I agree. I agree. But I'm saying this to all I'm saying is that you can't judge where people stand on the wrestler just because cats get on Twitter and they fire off on 140 characters or less.
Twitter's not
Because guess
real.
what?
They need
Those
to shut the
same people
fuck
that's
up.
complaining are the same people's buying the t-shirt. If Punk
Yup.
if Punk wasn't profitable and Punk wasn't vibey, why is he a top seller in two companies, one from which he just got fired from?
That's embarrassing. Is that on purpose? Like, why would you keep his merch up?
I don't. Maybe he owns the
Because he
rights
think
to that design or his name, image, and likeness.
That's
That's
that's what it
probably
is.
the
embarrassing.
case. That's
You have a
probably the
main
case.
champion. He's been holding that belt for a long time. The fact that he's not outselling Punk by now is crazy.
You want an
Craziness.
But the fact,
Argyle MJF shirt? That's what you want?
I don't
Or
want no
Birdman?
MJF shirt. And like again, he's from Long Island. I should want to represent him. I still don't want an MJF shirt.
He ain't
But
from Hempstead. He ain't
huh?
representing. He ain't from
I,
Hempstead.
What are you talking about? He
that's a
definitely
fact.
did. Didn't he graduate from some school out here
Creator
in
Pro,
Hicksville or some shit?
Creator.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think he graduated from Creator Pro. But
You're
even
correct.
if right, it's like,
Ah, goddamn.
even if all this stuff is true, it's like once again, like y'all need to stop looking at these cats' opinions and you need to start looking at the numbers because that's what matters.
No,
Yeah.
say
That's
the
what
N word.
matters.
Go ahead.
You think Tony Khan's
Huh?
regretting his decision?
I think so.
No,
No?
I don't think he regret because he is egotistical. He think like, all right, I'm about to bounce back.
That could be
I
true.
mean, we kind of
Ooh,
staggering onto a topic that we're moving on,
I was about to say
right
we're about
along.
to move on because